Sony recently released their latest mid-range TV, the Bravia 7 QID, and it's causing quite a stir in the tech world. Today we're diving deep into this sleek piece of technology to see if it lives up to the hype. Is it worth your hard-earned money, or should you look at Sony's other models instead? Let's find out. Let's kick things off with the Bravia 7's design, because let's face it, a TV isn't just about picture quality anymore. It's also a piece of furniture that needs to look good in your living room. The Bravia 7 does not disappoint in this department. It features a sleek, modern design with thin bezels that give it a premium look. The brushed metallic finish on the bezels adds a touch of sophistication that elevates the entire aesthetic. It's the kind of TV that makes you want to redecorate your entire living room just to match its style. But Sony hasn't sacrificed function for form. The TV's feet are prime examples of this balance. Made of sturdy metal, these feet can be set in 4 different positions, offering unprecedented flexibility in terms of height and width. This might not sound exciting at first, but trust me, it's a game changer. Let's break it down. Low position. At just 1.7 inches high, this setting gives you that sleek, low-profile look that's so popular in modern interior design. High position. Need to fit a soundbar? No problem. The high position lifts the TV 3.8 inches off the surface, providing ample space for even the chunkiest of soundbars. Narrow position. Got a small TV stand? The feet can be positioned closer together to fit on narrower surfaces. Wide position. For those who want maximum stability, the feet can be set wide apart. This level of versatility is something we rarely see in TV design, and it's a feature that sets the Bravia 7 apart from its competitors. However, it's not all roses in design land. Sony seems to have overlooked one crucial aspect: cable management. There are no built-in clips or channels to help wrangle those annoying cables. It's a small oversight, but one that might irk those who prioritize a clean, minimalist setup. For those who prefer a floating look, the Bravia 7 is wall-mountable using standard vase mounts. However, keep in mind that the mount isn't included in the box, so factor that into your budget if you're planning to hang this beauty on your wall. Now, let's talk about connectivity. The Bravia 7 comes equipped with a solid array of ports, but there are some quirks you need to know about. First up, we've got 4 HDMI ports. Sounds great, right? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Only 2 of these ports, numbers 3 and 4, support HDMI 2.1, which is necessary for 4K at 120 Hz. This is crucial for next-gen gaming consoles like the PS5 and Xbox Series X. What's more, Port 3 is also the eARC port, which you'll need if you want to connect a soundbar or AV receiver for high-quality audio pass-through. This means that if you've got multiple HDMI 2.1 devices, you might find yourself playing a game of Port Tetris to get everything connected. On the plus side, the Bravia 7 does support all major audio formats from Dolby and DTS, including Dolby Vision and HDR. This means you're getting a top-notch audiovisual experience, provided you've got the right equipment connected. The inclusion of ATSC 3.0 support is also worth noting. This next-gen TV standard promises better picture quality and more channels for over-the-air broadcasts. It's not widely used yet, but it's nice to know the Bravia 7 is future-proofed in this regard. Moving on to smart features, the Bravia 7 runs on Google TV version 12, and it's a smooth operator. The interface is clean, intuitive, and responsive. Apps launch quickly, navigation feels snappy. It's a significant improvement over older smart TV interfaces that could sometimes feel sluggish and outdated. One of the standout features is the built-in Chromecast. This allows you to easily cast content from your phone or tablet directly to the TV. It's perfect for showing off your vacation photos or quickly putting on a YouTube video without having to navigate through the TV's interface. The Google Play Store gives you access to a vast library of apps, so you're unlikely to find yourself wanting for content. From streaming giants like Netflix and Disney Plus to niche apps for specific interests, it's all at your fingertips. Voice control is another area where the Bravia 7 shines. The TV has a built-in microphone allowing for hands-free operation. Speaking of privacy, Sony has included a unique feature for the video call era we are living in. You can connect a Bravia branded webcam to the TV for video calls right on the big screen. It's not included in the box, but it's a nice option for those who frequently use video calling services. The remote itself deserves a mention. It's on the smaller side, lacking a full number pad, but it's well designed and intuitive to use. It features dedicated buttons for popular streaming services, which is always a nice touch. The built-in microphone for voice commands is responsive and accurate, making navigation a breeze. Now we come to the heart of any TV review: picture quality. This is where the Bravia 7 really flexes its muscles, and it's impressive to see what Sony has achieved at this price point. Let's start with contrast, which is fantastic thanks to the TV's mini LED backlighting. The Bravia 7 delivers inky blacks alongside bright, punchy highlights. This creates a dynamic and engaging image that really pops, especially in HDR content. The local dimming feature with its 480 dimming zones does an excellent job of enhancing contrast. You might notice some blooming around very bright objects on dark backgrounds, but it's minimal and unlikely to distract from your viewing experience. Brightness is another area where the Bravia 7 excels. This TV gets bright, really bright. In HDR, it can hit peak brightness levels that rival much more expensive sets. This means HDR content looks spectacular, with highlights that truly shine and colors that leap off the screen. Even in SDR, the Bravia 7 impresses with its brightness. It easily overcomes glare in bright rooms, making it a great choice for those who don't always have the perfect control over their lighting conditions. There is some variation in brightness with different content, but it's minimal and unlikely to be noticeable in regular viewing. Color performance is equally impressive. The Bravia 7 covers nearly all of the DCI-P3 color space, which is used in most HDR content. This means you're seeing colors as they were intended by the content creators. One of the most impressive aspects of the Bravia 7's picture quality is its out-of-the-box accuracy. In both SDR and HDR, colors are extremely accurate before any calibration. This is great news for most users who won't want to bother with professional calibration. You can just set up the TV and enjoy a highly accurate image right away. The TV's image processing is another high point. Sony has long been known for its excellent processing, and the Bravia 7 continues this tradition. It does a great job of upscaling lower resolution content, preserving details while smoothing out compression artifacts. This means that even if you're watching older content or broadcasts that aren't in 4K, they'll still look great on this TV. It's not all perfect, though. The TV's viewing angle is subpar, which is a step back from some of Sony's previous models. Colors start to shift, and contrast begins to degrade when you move off-center. This might not be an issue if you primarily watch TV straight on, but it's worth considering if you often have people watching from different angles. The TV's reflection handling is also just decent. It uses a semi-gloss coating that does a good job of diffusing reflections from ambient lighting, but bright lights or windows can still be distracting. If you have a very bright room with lots of windows, you might want to consider this carefully. For gamers, the Bravia 7 has a lot to offer. Let's break it down. Response time. The TV has a great response time, resulting in clear motion with minimal blur. Input lag. In game mode, the input lag is impressively low. This ensures a responsive gaming experience with minimal delay between your controller inputs and the action on screen. It's not quite as low as some competing models from LG and Samsung, but the difference is minimal and unlikely to be noticeable to all but the most competitive gamers. Variable refresh rate. The Bravia 7 supports VRR, which helps to eliminate screen tearing and stuttering in games. This results in a smoother, more stable image, especially in games where the frame rate fluctuates. Auto low latency mode. This feature automatically switches the TV to game mode when it detects a gaming signal, ensuring you always get the lowest possible input lag without having to manually change settings. 4K at 120 Hz. On HDMI ports 3 and 4, the TV supports 4K resolution at 120 Hz refresh rate. HDR gaming. The the TV supports HDR gaming, including Dolby Vision gaming at 4K 120Hz on Xbox Series X. One unique feature for PlayStation 5 owners is the TV's ability to automatically optimize picture settings based on the content. The only real downside for gamers is the limited number of HDMI 2.1 ports. With only 2 available and one doubling as the eARC port, you might need to juggle connections if you have multiple high-end gaming devices. Let's be honest, built-in TV speakers are rarely anything to write home about. But the Bravia 7 might just change your mind about that. The speakers on this TV are surprisingly good. The frequency response is well balanced, providing clear dialogue and a decent sense of immersion. While there's not much in the way of deep bass, a common limitation of TV speakers, the overall sound is full and satisfying at moderate volumes. One of the standout aspects of the Bravia 7's audio is its distortion performance. Even at high volumes, there's very little distortion. This means you can crank up the volume during those explosive action scenes without the sound becoming a garbled mess. The TV also supports Dolby Atmos, which can provide a more immersive sound experience. While you won't get the full effect of Atmos without additional speakers, the TV does a good job of creating a sense of space and directionality with its built-in speakers. That said, while the built-in speakers are good for a TV, they're not going to replace a dedicated sound system or even a good soundbar. If you're an audiophile or just someone who really values quality audio, you'll still want to consider external audio solutions. So, after diving deep into all aspects of the Sony Bravia 7, it's clear that this is a highly capable TV that offers a lot of value. But is it the right TV for you? Let's break it down. Buy the Sony Bravia 7 if 1. You prioritize picture quality, especially for HDR content. 2. You're a gamer who wants a responsive TV with next-gen features. 3. You appreciate accurate colors out of the box. 4. You watch a lot of content in a dark or moderately lit room. And 5. You're a fan of the Google TV smart platform. But maybe you should consider alternatives if 1. You often watch TV with large groups from wide viewing angles. 2. You have a very bright room with lots of windows. 3. You need more than 2 HDMI 2.1 ports. Or 4. You're on a tight budget and don't mind sacrificing some picture quality and processing. It's also worth considering how the Bravia 7 stacks up against its competition. At this price point, you're in the territory of entry-level OLED TVs like the LG C4. While the Bravia 7 can get brighter, OLEDs offer perfect blacks and wider viewing angles. On the other hand, you've got options like the Hisense U8N, which offers similar performance to the Bravia 7 but at a lower price point. Ultimately, the Sony Bravia 7 is a fantastic mid-range TV that punches above its weight in many areas. Its stunning HDR performance, accurate colors, and great gaming features make it a solid choice for many users. While it has a few drawbacks like its narrow viewing angles and limited HDMI 2.1 ports, these are unlikely to be deal breakers for most people. Check out the link in the description box below for more information and updated price. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all things tech.